Hello, and welcome back to the FrostCast, episode 11, I'm pretty sure.
Sure, whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's another episode.
Yes, and we missed last week, and this week we'll be on time. I went TDY to Colorado, which was pretty fun, and you were moving.
I moved an entire house into another entire house.
Congratulations.
Yes, thanks.
How's that garage looking?
It looks like it had my other house inside of it. That's what it looks like. My other house is inside my garage.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
He sent me a picture of this, and it just looked like a hoarder's room.
It does. Yeah, it really does.
Thankfully, it's only the garage, though. Only the garage. He doesn't have a problem, I swear.
Yeah. It's my wife that's got the problem.
Okay.
Had to have most of her stuff. But yeah, so we're back.
Yep, back, and probably back on schedule for the most part. Should be good for every Sunday. I have another update for my Golden Girl coming, like, as a video. I finished a couple kits on TDY. So I finished 2 Gundam kits, did the commission of the Thunderbolt. The slides look sweet.
Yeah, they do.
I got to do a flat coat on it next. That's it, and then it's done.
It looks really good.
So that'll be good. And then I built out there was like a Hobby Town USA. So I had a much better Gundam selection than here, but the community was empty. Like, I think the reason they have so much stock shelf is because 5 Gundam guys go there, kind of thing. The Gundam community here versus there is much bigger here.
Right.
But the people out there were pretty nice. It's definitely not much to do hobby-wise. You have your typical run-of-the-mill comic shops that have been around for 30 years.
Well, they got Mile High Comics out there, right? Isn't that one of them?
Wasn't in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Or maybe it was.
Maybe it's in Denver. There's one that's really famous, like Mile High Comics.
That sounds like a Denver, because Denver has a higher elevation than Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Climbed 2, we climbed Red Rock, and I climbed Cheyenne Mountain. 2/3 of it. We got to the top, and I was I think we checked the GPS, and we were 9,000 feet in the air.
Wow.
It was sweet. And then we compared the elevation to Colorado Springs, which is around 6,000 to 7,000. And then there's Virginia Beach, which is 11 feet.
Yeah, 11 feet, yes. Much higher.
I didn't get, everyone gets out there, and they're like, oh, the dry air, because a couple of my coworkers had nosebleeds, and I didn't have anything. I guess I'm just built better.
I guess so. Yeah.
It's I literally got out there and I immediately went to the gym and had 0 issues, if not lifted better. So that was hilarious.
Well, you're higher up. The gravity is easier.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, because in space, the higher you go up, in space, there's no gravity.
But space has no up or down.
Exactly. So, that's what I'm saying. No gravity.
Okay, yeah, I just defied gravity. Cool.
Yeah,
understood.
Good. I understand how gravity works. It's not.
No, it doesn't. He doesn't.
Magnets, how do they work?
So, another thing in the intro, you did find all your Orgoth parts.
I did, yep, and so those are going to be brought to you tomorrow.
And then they will be, tomorrow, we'll see what I do tomorrow, but the candy red will be beginning painting.
Delicious.
I cannot wait. It is delicious. It's candy.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's crunchy.
Because we got to have it ready for that big battle.
Ooh, can we talk about that?
Yeah, I got the all clear to talk about.
Okay, we can talk about that later.
I got the all clear.
We'll do that at the end.
Yeah.
Bad.
Just writing it down.
Yeah, sorry about the clicks. Did some mic changes. It should be better. So,
Maybe.
But if you're going to pick up some more background noise, probably, because we only have 1 mic, unfortunately, for now. The goal is to get 2 eventually, but that's a long-term goal.
Yeah.
The mic that I have now is kind of nice, but kind of expensive, so getting a second one's kind of rough. I don't want 2 different mics, because it's just going to sound weird.
That makes sense, yeah.
But...
So, the Kador box is all the new resin.
Oh, it's in there.
Oh, I know. No, that's why I said it.
Yeah.
We're going down the list, and I thought...
True. I saw that picture, and I was like, is that all resin? All the new one? And they're like, yep. And I was like, oh, boy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's
oh, wow.
That has going to help so much of, the dust has so much less print lines on the new resin. And it's not as fragile for all those cool, all the clothes on there, except for that one.
Yeah.
The one
I've got Kish in my hand, and she one of her the flails, not the flail, the cloaks behind her.
She has 3 banners that hang off her both shoulders and her neck. The neck banner that flows backwards broke off in shipping, so we just trimmed it down and left it off.
Yeah,
because it was probably gonna be easier to paint without it anyway.
Indeed. But yeah, comparing those to the ones that we have of the old resin, it's just ugh.
It gives me kind of high hopes for the Dusk.
For sure. Yeah, and the expansion boxes.
The Dusk need it though, because they're spears. They all have the spearmen, and the light jack that has the spear's helpful as ever because it's flexible, but like the new spear, like the troops are always been more fragile than jacks. So jacks you can be a little more cautious with because
they're big or beefy.
Yeah,
not like your run-of-the-mill infantry.
Yeah, but seeing that was good. I wonder. I hope they can keep up with it.
But still doesn't make you want to buy the Khador.
No.
The models did look good when I looked at them. I was like, those are good models, but still Khador.
Yeah, they're still. I mean,
they're still Khador.
I'm glad they're getting love.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that might be a good selling point for a lot of people.
It might help them jump onto the new models now that like that's a big jump in the resin quality.
It really is.
So for people who are hesitant on resin, now that they can see visible improvements from the start of this whole Mark IV thing to now, that's going to help people fall back in love with Privateer Press, because some people have like fallen like I'm on the fence.
Yeah.
This should help them like earn.
And it's only been 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this started, well, I mean, with delays. It was supposed to come out in October, right? But yeah. I mean, they've been working at it for 6 months now, and they've already made such huge leaps and bounds.
For the people who lost a little bit of trust, which is understandable, new product, new scares, new fears, it's going to help that earn back, I think.
I think so, yeah. But, I mean, my recommendation to those people is, like, you know, wait till something that you really want comes out there.
Yeah.
You know, don't try to, Orgoth came out, I want the new army.
Don't
do you really want it?
Don't FOMO.
Exactly. Like, if you're really into trolls, just wait for trolls.
Yeah.
Or if you're really into
whatever
Minoth or whatever the 6 armies that are going to come out next year are, just, you know, wait for those.
Yeah.
You know, and play with your old stuff. And I know people are all up in arms about, I can't play with all my models, and it's like,
neither can I, bro.
Yeah, it's like, come on, like, you can, but, you know,
keep playing Mark III in that case.
Yeah, Brawl Machine is still a fine format. There's all the rules online for Mark III until Mark IV, you know, comes along with something that you actually want, and they've had, at that point, could be over a year to perfect the resin. And I mean, it's like the new resin it's almost like injection molded plastic. It's close. Yeah. So we're talking like GW quality of like injection molding plastic.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
I wonder if, now I don't know how their R&D works for tools, but I think it's Display. They make small sanding sticks that are like pencils almost. Like you hold like a pencil and you can get into small grooves for minis. I wonder if Privateer Press has ever thought about doing, or is thinking about doing a tool set for resin that would help with some of this. It's like a weird angled like sanding stone just for the print lines to get around, because the print lines are on round spots, so hard to sand, and they're usually around bolts. So if you sand too much, there goes the bolt.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be willing. I would say no, because in my mind, I'm like, if somebody else already makes that, why would Privateer Press make it? You know what I mean?
I didn't even know about it until like I got a Facebook ad for this random website I've never heard of, kind of thing. Like they're niche, and they're meant. I think their target audience is like the resin conversion community for Gundam, which is like 5% of the Gunpla.
Sure,
it's like super small. It's super niche, but that being the biggest concern, I think if they had a tool set that helped alleviate that, it would add to the modeling process and be an extra step for sure.
Yeah, and then but the only problem that I see is like with Citadel, when they create clippers that are like $40 when you can go get the same clippers for like 15.
Yeah, they have.
You know what I mean, they have to do the markup because basically they're going to be buying them from this company or who already does it. Yeah. Whoever does it, they're going to slap Privateer Press on it and then mark it up 100%. Yeah, you know, that's the only downfall I'd see with that. So, but not a bad idea.
I think it would because they're not common. I think they could put even a slight markup would help get that tool out to people. Even I would buy theirs because I don't even remember the website that I got the ad for like 6 months ago. Yeah, because like niche tools are helpful because this is a niche environment of the modeling community now. Because it's, I will say, so some of the dust, the more you look at them, the more I'm like, there's a print line right there.
You know, if along those lines, they could just buy bulk. I mean, I don't know how much those sticks were, but include like a stick in every box too. Ooh, I'm sure that'd be cheap, right? They can't be that expensive.
So it was almost like, I don't remember the tool exactly. It was almost like an X-Acto knife. You know, you twist the top, you put the top in. Yeah. So it was like the handle was probably the expensive part. So I bet you they could like sell the handle, maybe one, and then just include one in like a army box or something. Or do like I think it would probably cost, I think they were like $10. So like if they did like a whole set for $25 and it covered everything you need, that's not too bad.
No, not at all.
but it would be mostly on the jacks more so because those big lines and the bolt. They do a lot of bolts, and just I haven't found a reason to try to stand around a bolt.
Yeah, just leave it. I'd say because you don't want to risk losing that bolt. Because I know some of my K-Door in the battle box, like some of the bolt is like half missing because it didn't print all the way,
especially on the back of some of the arms.
Yes.
Like when you have your right arm, your back or your elbow, like your tricep, basically, are kind of rough and stuff.
They are.
Because of bolt, and that's the angle they printed attached to the print bed. So,
yeah.
But yeah, there you go, Privacy Press.
There you go, free idea.
If you want me to, I'll do the research and find the tool for you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know how I'm gonna find it. But we can go into the next one, the Primecast this week. Did you watch that?
Listened, yeah.
Listen to it.
Okay. Yeah, I listened to it. It was good. Matt Wilson has some good things on there. Do you want to talk about the guard tower first?
What do you think about it?
I don't hate it.
You don't hate it?
But I don't love it.
Because you're asking me, should we get one? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, no. So I think the rules are good right now. I think they're good rules. The model doesn't wow me.
Not even in the slightest.
And $40 wows me even
40?
less. It's $40.
I didn't even look. I'm glad you didn't buy this.
It's $40, and you can get 2 for $70 right now. So you basically get $10 off.
2 for $60. You would have had me.
I don't see. Okay, so I get it. No, I don't. Never mind. I don't get it at all.
The model is just so simple.
Yeah,
it
really is
so simple.
And like I'm just looking at other guys like the Bulldozer Terrain that I kickstarted, and I'm like, his stuff looks better than that. Some of it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, come on. Like,
I hope if one thing I know it's not going to happen, and this is just a pipe dream, but if they're going to keep trying to push terrain, they let people design their own. Because then I think my problem with it is it's too simple because they're trying to be army neutral,
agnostic. Yeah.
So but if you let people have like a base, like match these parameter, like the square profile, and then design it yourself, or if they had more ways, like one for each army, which is hard to produce. I know that's a lot of work for them. So
I mean, but even if you did that, all they would do is just like put icons on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying if you let people design their own, you could do some. People would go to town.
I think so, yeah. And that's the other problem I have with it. It's like it's a guard tower. It's not necessarily needed in the game. It's more like a luxury product, if you will.
Yes.
A premium product. And like there's just so much better out there that you could print and not pay $40 for. Like I don't mind paying the $200 for the army boxes and the expansion boxes, but like it's like the defenses, man. Like I'm having a real hard time justifying spending my hobby dollars on those things, on not a model. I really am.
And that's how I felt about even 40K. Like their models are expensive, but they are high quality.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but then when it comes to terrain, I have always found a way to make my own terrain.
Yeah.
And you can do, and terrain in that game is their different perspective, but like, there's no like, I don't know. It's just like I've always loved making my own terrain because you can make it to a theme you like.
Correct. And like if you wanted a Rhett themed guard tower, you could make that instead of just buying this generic guard tower.
Yep.
Now the other thing I'm curious about is how much they would let people convert the guard tower. Like, because I know there's conversion rules of like 50%, right? But with a guard tower, like if you wanted to like, I don't know, redesign the roof and like make it into like a Rhett roof or something, and the Rhett along the side.
So silly.
It does sound silly, but then at that point, why aren't you just making your own terrain instead of spending $40 to convert something?
Because like if you're gonna swap the roof, it's just the rest is gonna look goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my head right now, as soon as you said like Rhett Tower, I'm thinking like Tau, how their buildings float.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's
with like the iOS technology and like blue kind of burring, like the Trident,
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, it'd be like an anti-grav watchtower.
That would be sweet.
That would be sweet. Yeah. Or
you could even like it'd be silly. You could even give it rules to be pushed.
Oh yeah, you could. Or give it like put like colossal legs on it and have it walk around. No, that's stupid. But no, I mean it's just hard to justify $40 for a generic piece of terrain in my mind. Even when I played 40K or fantasy, it was hard to justify spending hobby dollars on not models that weren't like troopers or casters.
The only thing I ever spent money on terrain wise was the old Aquila. Remember like the build your own boxes? You got like it was like the tiles you could snap.
Yes.
That was
okay. Yeah.
I spent a little bit of money on it, and then I won a GW store contest for $300 worth of that. So, but like that was like my favorite terrain of all time, which I have the files for.
Well, yeah, of course you have the files for it. Everyone has to have the files for it.
But
and after their huge price increase coming up, why wouldn't you?
Yikers! Sorry, GW, we're gonna keep ripping on you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't just
terrain's a weird spot, and especially when they're pushing it as into the competitive scene.
So let's go down this road, right? Let's take Monster Apocalypse, right?
Okay.
So there's terrain in that game, which are the buildings, right? So the buildings all have special abilities. They're all unique and kind of cool and give you bonuses in the game.
And there are plenty of faction specific ones.
Correct.
So it fits the theme.
It does fit the theme, and I'm still hesitant to even buy buildings in Monster Apocalypse as opposed to buying, because the buildings are like $15-$20.
Yeah.
And for $15-$20 I can get a unit or spend a little bit more money and get a monster.
Yeah.
I still have problems doing that, but I'm like, the buildings aren't that bad because they're actually a piece in the game that gets used and actually has abilities.
It adds a whole other level to that game.
It does. This I don't feel like it adds enough to justify the price point.
Yeah. And I don't know how much they'd have to do to the terrain.
But you can't do too much because then it becomes imbalanced and it's like a pay to win almost.
Yeah, because then it's like Monster Apocalypse, the cost of the game is 2 monsters. That's it. So you're at 60 and some units. So you're like $100 mark.
Yep.
And then you throw in I don't know how much the unit, how many buildings you'd have to buy to be like semi-competitive in that game.
Like 12.
Oh, ouch.
To be semi-competitive, you'd probably need to buy at least 6, more than likely like 8, and then you could just fill the rest with junk.
Okay.
So probably like 6 buildings. So you're end up spending probably another $100.
Okay.
In buildings at the minimum to be okay competitive.
So you're at 200.
You're at 200, yeah.
Army box is 200.
I know.
Game's cheaper.
A game's cheaper, yeah.
Yeah. So it's easier to justify the buildings because they are a third of that game.
Yeah.
With War Machine, buildings and terrain will never be a third of that game, and I don't know if that would ever be fun.
True. Yeah.
Because terrain's cool and thematic, and yes, I should get plus defense if I'm standing next to a wall because it just makes sense. But this building shouldn't be injecting me with steroids to give me +2 on a shooting bonus kind of thing.
Yeah. Injecting me with steroids. That's great. But yeah, maybe we'll win one, and we won't have to buy it. So.
But yeah. All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
In other unrelated news, I saw, back to Warhammer a little bit because I still like the lore. I still follow it a smidge. Tomb Kings had a post. And it was about the Old World
Warhammer Fantasy, yeah.
So they're bringing back this. I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know they were bringing back the square base.
So this has been happening for years now.
Okay.
And they made an announcement, I want to say 2020, of hey, we're going to do the Old World square bases again, but it's going to be years down the road. So over the past few years, they've released some stuff like the Kislev stuff. They've released the cavalry, or not. They haven't released anything. They've just released concept art and pictures, right? So this is still probably years and years away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're getting excited, good, but don't get too excited because this is probably not gonna be a 2023 release.
I don't want it to be.
Okay. All right.
I have. I've spent enough already on
well,
this.
3D. You got a 3D printer now.
That's true.
Just make all the files you want.
Wouldn't even freaking pay for them anyway.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, there was a Tomb King thing. I'm a big Tomb King fans from back in the days of fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
If I had an army back in the day, it was them or Wood Elves, and Tomb Kings was I was a kid and didn't have enough money for 2 fantasy armies, but Tomb Kings were always really cool.
Yeah.
I like my dad always made the joke that 40K and fantasy were connected, and Tomb Kings are just the old Necrons, and I'm like, that's not it, but it's a fun idea.
I mean, it's not that far off, right?
Yeah.
They used to be connected, but then they retconned it.
Did they actually?
They did. In like the original, like I want to say like second, third edition, there was a Space Marine in Fantasy guarding the Chaos Waste.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure it was a Space Wolf. Space Wolf, Space Marine guarding the Chaos Waste.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, clearly, yeah, not retcon.
And there was if you want to go deep into this conspiracy theory, Sigmar was one of the Primarchs.
Oh.
And he went off and did his own thing, and his own thing was creating this world.
That's... Okay, yeah.
That's some deep tinfoil hat shit right there.
Yeah, that really is. On a side note, my favorite model in all of fantasy is the Archon the Everchosen.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Great model, and in most of his forms. And he's the Harbinger of Doom, you know?
Yeah. The other fun model that I had as a young 14-year-old spry kid who wanted cool-looking models was the Metal Hell Cannon.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I remember making
cool
the
model.
base for that because it didn't come with one.
Nope, it did not.
I got some foam board, cut angles on it, and JB welded that thing down.
Nice.
And that thing, I remember having to green stuff the middle because it didn't line up at all.
But yeah, so get excited if you want, but it's going to take a while.
That's fine. I what do I have hobby this coming up this year? I have not even like I don't want to spend money, but like I have so much to paint. I have your Orgoth, and then I'll have my Gundams that I normally have. So I want to try to finish that Phoenix Project by the end of the year, and then I have this other idea to do a American Gundam.
Okay.
Like has a bald eagle on its arm kind of thing. I'll show you that when we're done with this. It's a funny idea.
Okay. All right.
And then we have the Ravage Star coming in.
When is that?
So I think they're getting ready to ship.
Okay.
So like they're like in the final printing process of it all, because I know they got the first like full batch at Mini Wargaming, and they're like, oh, this is what it's gonna look like. This is how it's gonna arrive, and they're printing the rest of them right now. I would expect March delivery. I could hope, because they already released the new images for the next Ravage Star update, and they're not letting people buy it until the old one fully ships.
Okay.
So they have the images.
That's
for the
good.
Yeah,
I like that.
they definitely want to make sure the old gets out first and people like it before they let people buy the new one. Mm-hmm. I guess will be buying the new one probably because the game might be fun.
Yeah, I mean we'll play it.
We'll
for
play
sure.
it. We'll have it on the channel. We'll have an unboxing, which is going to be a massive unboxing.
Yeah, because you spent all that money.
It's not even that much for what I got. That's the crazy part.
Well, I mean when it's not GW models, you get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I do know how I'm going to paint them. I had this idea. I was talking to Jay about it. Mountain Dew Pitch Black is going to be black, space, and green and purple. They're going to be black, green, and purple.
You're going to be your Mountain Dew army?
Mountain Dew Chaos Space Marine.
Okay.
Oh boy! It's going to be silly, but I think it's going to look really good.
Yeah.
You're just laughing at it. So I'm going to show up to the table with that, and I'm going to have a can of Pitch Black on the table. A full can, unopened, and be like, this is my good luck charm.
Oh my god.
I hope my
You're gonna
opponent
be like
laughs,
those
and then I
weirdos.
win. Or like the card tournament people that show up and they have like a separate card for a different
Oh, I
game.
know. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Or like this one guy, I played him, and he had these googly eyes that he put out, and he's like, the eyes of intimidation are upon you. And I was like, that's cute.
It's cute.
That's cute. Yeah.
I was at my regional invite for Dragon Ball, trying to get my nationals invite. And this dude puts this leader out because it's like a leader based game, kind of like Commander. And under the leader, he's like, all right, I'm putting these cards for good luck. They don't mean anything. Are you cool with that? I'm like, yeah, cool. He puts 3 like $100 Charizards underneath it. So it's like $300 for the Charizards under his like $5 leader. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I guess.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And then I absolutely dominated this guy.
How would you put... Okay, whatever.
And like, he was like, good game. And I'm like, no. It was not a fun game for him. I was playing one of the more broken decks at the time, but that's what you do.
Yeah.
But now we can get to the meat and potatoes of this. Captain Con and LVO.
Yeah.
We little talked about LVO last time, but Captain Con and like the 100 points games and how things are changing.
Yes, so Captain Con is done. Orgoth won.
I know you're excited about that.
I'm happy because that's the faction I'm going to be playing. I'm happy, but I'm also unhappy because I feel like there might be nerfs coming in, coming into the
I wonder if the games, and we're gonna get into this a little bit because the games are playing at 100 points, which is more than we've been playing at.
Yes.
But at 100 points, every list is almost all jacks.
Yeah.
At least one of the lists is always like 4 jacks.
So at 100 points, you're looking at between 60 and 70 points worth of jacks for sure.
Which is
So I don't hate it, and I kind of like it. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you, like, this is supposed to be War Machine, right?
Yeah.
So having War Machines on the board, I like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with the unit size being smaller, cool.
Games are faster.
Games are faster, and most of your army is the big warjacks.
You feel like it
feel
feels
like
good.
Yeah, it feels good. It doesn't feel like infantry machine like Mark II was. It feels like, hey, I'm gonna bring these big stompy robots and fight, and they do.
Yeah.
And it worked because your Ret list had what, four mana cores and then 2 other jacks. The Chimera was one.
So the other list had the Chimera. So the one list was just 4 mana cores. One list was, I think, 2 mana cores, a Chimera, and something else. But it was just a lot of jacks.
Yeah, well, I know there were 4 tyrants and like 1 jackal in the Orgoth list, so that was fun.
I'm pulling up. That's the old war room. Private G Price, if you're listening, I need you to make a Google Pixel update for the image icon. I'm going to show this to AJ. It is incomplete, which is why it does that. They only do the square icon, and it works for Samsung and Apple. But when you have a Google phone, the image is different.
Well, why don't you just not have a stupid phone?
You know what?
I mean, gotcha. Got him!
Entirely side note, the phone is trying to kill itself, and I'm like, I do not want to buy a new phone either. No, thank you. Because like today, no Facebook messages at all.
I know.
And then like Android Auto was just being crap on the when we were out there using it, and it's just like my phone randomly, like at least once a day, needs to be restarted. And I'm like, can you not?
Can you not, please?
And then my wife got the new Pixel 7, and this is a rant. But it's fantastic. I'm like, good for you. My phone's dying. All right, back to the list. The first list is a Chimera, 2 Hydras, 2 Mana Cores. That's with the...
So 5.
5 Jacks and Master Helena. And then you have 2 Horse Solos, 2 Sentinel Sires, 2 Arcanists, and Archers. That's the infantry list, quote unquote.
Yeah.
The other list is, I guess this one is more.
Yeah, this one has a lot more.
This is the infantry list. My bad. But it is Chimera, Manticore, 2 Horsey Solos, 2 Dawnguard Solos, 2 units of Horsies, and 2 Sentinel units. Right? No, I'm reading this wrong. No, 1 unit of Horsies, 1 Invictors, 2 Sentinel units. All attachments.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely more into the infantry side, but that's going to be the flip of the coin who you started with. But the main list is 5 Jacks. 5 heavy Jacks from Ret. And then the Hydra can hold focus, which is dope for how they negate focus. And then your list is...
the list that I'm probably going to be running at 100 is Horusk, 2 Jackals, 4 Tyrants, 3 Reaver Commanders, Assault Reavers with a standard, and 2 Witch Coven units. So I have 3, 8, 9, and 15 infantry unit, or 15 infantry, 6 Jacks, and a caster.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I do too. And your turns will go fast.
Turns will go fast. It'll be very simple. I wonder if that's how they intended the game to go. Like, I've always wondered this about any card game, tabletop game, when they make the new rules and they start playtesting, what is their vision? Do they envision tons of Jacks at 100 points, or do they envision a good mix?
I think they want Jacks, because Jacks are
The selling point.
the selling point of the game. It's War Machine. That's what I'm saying. So I think they're good with that.
And I think what was funny in our like early testing, did not do that. We're like infantry.
Well, I think that's because we were used to the old way of playing.
Yeah.
Where you bring a couple, you use up your Jack coupons.
Yep.
And maybe bring like 1 or 2 more, and then the rest is like
And
the
it
rest.
felt weird going past that.
It did. You'd never bring more than, I'd say, 3 to 4, unless like your army was specifically designed to bring, like trolls with their caster that would bring like 5 or 6.
Thag 2.
Thag 2 is one. Unless your caster was that Jack or Beast Caster, you just would bring a bunch of infantry because it was easier to manage because all that focus, all that fury, you just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But now,
It's whatever you want.
now it's whatever you want.
Which is fantastic for the game.
Yes.
More diversity, more, even if it like your opponent's playing crazy jacks and you're playing infantry, if it's a fair game, or like even just moderately like not lopsided, even with two drastically different play styles, great for new people. Because now they can play whatever they want.
Yeah. But more importantly, we can tell people now.
The last podcast you heard the little NDA thing. This is unrelated to that,
But related.
semi-related. But we did get the okay to talk about. You and
John.
have been planning something big for Bokur.
Bokur. Yes. Well, so if you didn't already figure it out, we're playtesters for Privateer Press. Under NDA, obviously, so we can't talk about certain things. But we can tell you that. But John is, John from War Budgies, he's doing the narrative campaign for Privateer Press. And we have decided that we are going to do a siege battle at Bokur.
I'm very...
Kind of like... So, I know they're doing one at Adepticon, and they're doing that narrative campaign like Adepticon, Gen Con, Warfare Weekend, but we're going to do one at Bokur. And the idea behind this is, and this is not under NDA, so we're not breaking any laws here.
Thank the Lord.
John is going to build a fortress. And he already sent me a picture of like one wall section, and it already looks awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring 200 points of Orgoth to Bokur. And I've already reached out to the tried and true people, and they're on board with doing this. So Friday, we're probably going to play in the IG qualifier. Saturday is the team tournament. We don't really have extra people. We may... just ride along with the team. I don't know. We haven't decided what we're going to do yet.
Yeah.
But after Saturday night, our plan is to have a 200. We haven't ironed out the points yet. But right now, it's going to be like 150 points of Khador versus 200 points of Orgoth invading a fortress.
That's
a siege, and we're gonna have siege, and we're still in the brainstorming phases, so we're gonna have like siege towers, and my idea for a siege tower is pretty out there, where it's, I know the Tarrasque isn't out yet, but I might use I've got some not bronze backs, but gladiators and stuff that we don't have, and we might 3D print like a siege tower and plant it on the back, like it's dragging along the road, like just carrying it up to the fortress so people can get on run through the tower.
I hope we can do that because I would love to convert that.
Yeah. Nothing's stopping us but time.
That's true.
But right now we're still in the brainstorming phases. We have an idea of it's going to be a 4x6 table. 12 inches in, there's going to be basically a line that's going to be a wall. The wall is going to be probably about 3 inches. No 50 millimeter or nothing bigger than a medium base on top. Because like we figured, the Khador could just bring like, again,
tons.
all heavy jacks and just be like, all right, I just bombard you off the table the whole time. Yeah. So we're gonna limit to only medium and small base models on the top. We haven't worked out the siege engines and the siege equipment yet.
Yeah.
But we're throwing out a lot of ideas. That we're going to be using the guard towers, which John bought 2, so we're going to use his 2 siege towers, or guard towers rather.
Use them as siege towers.
Use them as siege towers. Yes. We're going to use the defenses if they're available, and there's going to be like basically 12 inch. If you imagine the board, 12 inches in is the fortress, the big wall. Then 12 inches from there, which is 24 inches, so the board cut in half, is going to be where the defender can place a bunch of defenses. So we're talking spike traps, walls, all kinds of stuff to slow me down. And then the other 24 inches is going to be like my area.
Yeah.
And John has talked about, artillery, siege towers. We talk about battering rams and ladders, but we haven't, like I said, we just thought about this idea like a couple days ago.
So here's an idea.
Yeah.
Do you know how we have like the little command cards? Not command cards, but command cards. What if you had one that was like, instead of like, you could add it to your points cost, it's like 3 points, it's artillery fire, and then you can do within your leader's control range, freaking like the scatter dice kind of thing.
Well, this is just Scatter Dice and War Machine, so we have to do stuff that's in War Machine.
Okay.
Because this is going to be like an official
But like
Privateer
that
Press
kind of thing. But like play the command card like once per turn. You can call in a strike. It has to be within your caster's control range. Or maybe they're something.
But then you're already so close.
Okay. But something with like command cards, like make custom cards for this thing. That's
You could,
fine.
yeah, and that's we're still in the brainstorming phase, so that's
Yeah.
not outside the realm. Like, command cards are like I fire a cannon or an artillery shell comes in, you roll a die and it comes in on like turn 2,
Yeah.
and you're like it's gonna hit here, But there's gonna be walls that you can break down. There's gonna be the gate that you can break down. There's gonna be the siege, the guard towers that you can break down, and just like penetrating that gate. And we haven't figured out like right now. The people from Tried and True, they've got about 150 points of Khador between them.
Yeah.
And because I asked them, I was like, do you know anybody that can bring 200 points of Winter Corp? And they're like, no, we've got like 75 each, and there's 2 of us. And I'm like, fair enough. We might have to do like 150 points versus 200 points.
Yeah.
And then if enough people involved, we might just scale it all the way up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, she was like, is this limited on the number of players? I'm like, not at all. Like if
We could just go super wide with it. Go 2 tables.
yeah, but I'm going to bring I was bringing 200 to cover the Orgoth side.
Yep.
Like that's going to be the minimum. And then if we want to go all night playing this,
So
this
are we
siege,
starting Apocalypse in War Machine? Is this it's gonna be called Siege? Is this what we're doing?
I don't. Listen, that's a Matt Wilson decision right there, not an us decision.
I remember when I first got into War Machine and they're like, yeah, 150 point games, like massive games, like 3 Colossals. And I was like, that looks so fun. I've never played War Machine at that scale. And I've always wondered what it felt like.
So they had Apocalypse rules back in the day.
Sorry about the clicking of my keyboard.
I'm looking at the Battle of Boar's Gate to show him, because I'm pretty sure you've never seen this.
No.
But this is kind of where the idea comes from, where
okay.
it's this giant wall and they're assaulting it. Now, this is a large scale at lock and load. We obviously cannot do this in time, but we're going to do what we can. Mm-hmm. And I think this is cool to get Mark IV out there, and John's going to shoot some videos and take some pictures just to get, hey, here's some cool Mark IV stuff out there.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have a little bit of coverage if we can too.
And if this kicks off, then maybe we did start Apocalypse for War Machine. You know what I mean? But again, like, you gotta understand, like, we gotta make it accessible. Like John said, we gotta make it accessible to people that play in the garage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this
have it start at a 4x6 table and then be able to be scaled from there.
Sure. All you need is a long wall.
Yeah.
Or trenches, essentially. You can put trenches along with them. But John's actually building a wall that's gonna look super fucking cool.
I mean, you really could just stack up some textbooks kind of thing.
Could, yeah.
Like, if you want to go Brokehammer style.
I guess, yeah.
Might actually be a kind of a good setup for, like, this is ideas. Just get, like, the 12 packs of soda, the boxes.
Could, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like super garage budget. Yeah.
Hey, I've been there.
We've all been there.
I remember we were playing just any tabletop game we could. We used soda cans as, like, power cylinders.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm excited for this. I'm excited to get to paint the Orgoth, to slap this all on the table.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to look insane.
Dude, 200 points of Orgoth, I can't imagine what that's going to look like at the end of the day. Like, I don't know. At that, I might have to buy another Tyrant. And then I might have to buy... Because, like, I calculated it out. I'm going to end up with about 225 points of Orgoth. Like, all set.
Oh, yeah, once you get 2 of everything?
Once I get 2 of everything, right? So it's going to be, like, all that. But I will have I won't have max fill allowance of Jackals or Tyrants. And then I won't have... Or I'll have max fill allowance for the standard. Or no, I won't. 8. Never mind. Just kidding. So I'm going to have to buy 2 of the alternate sculpt standards just for this battle. Because I have to attach them to the Reaver. Yep, so, okay. Well, there you go.
Look at that.
I gotta spend more money. Damn it.
Look at this guy. He's being a real trooper, providing all the Orgoth for this battle.
Yep, that's right.
And he's also, by proxy, enlisted me to paint it all.
Well, you volunteered to paint
That
it.
is true.
Thank you very much.
That is very true. And it may come down to me just speed running the candy.
That's probably gonna have to happen, I assume, at this point, because...
And then if I have to convert the Tarrasques, definitely gonna happen.
Well, we're not gonna have Tarrasque.
Okay.
So that's what I think if you want to go that route, I think we could just... just print out like siege towers and just slap them on the top. You know what I mean? Like 3D printing. Like, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
We just have to make something like Orgothy.
That tower you have downstairs, probably could take bits and pieces and mock something up.
Probably, yeah. I could reach out to Tom Wiggins and be like, hey, this is what we're doing.
I don't know what Tom Wiggins is, sorry.
He's the bulldozer train guy.
Okay.
If you haven't had bulldozer train, it's great.
Yeah, we have it downstairs.
No, I'm talking to the people that's listening.
Oh,
I'm talking to the 5 people that actually listen to this.
Okay. I think there's 6, okay?
6? Okay. All right. 6 people.
Thank you.
Check them out. Yeah. And then John wants to do some collaborative stuff. So what we might do is when we start shooting again with John, we might do some like preview playtesting battles with him. So that's what you guys look forward to on the channel.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to wrap this episode up too.
Yeah, let's do it.
No, that's it. That's
okay, that's it. Well, GG, well played.
Yeah, go next. Yeah. But that's it. Big Siege things coming, and we're very excited. Please let us know down in the comments how the audio was overall. We tried to do a test beforehand, and it sounded good. So I'm gonna listen to this, make sure it's all good all the way through, and then yeah, we will see y'all next week. Should have a video halfway through the week about my Phoenix. And then yeah, that's it. All right, see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.